take the continuation of a group, especially in this class we start the continuation of a group by means of one special example. Why I called this example as to be special? Wait and see. After the explanation will be give the certain definition to this example. First you have to be treated as the example. Thereafter recall the definition of a group. The group means it satisfies the four conditions with the operation star and a non-empty set G. The closure law, associative law, existence of identity law, identity element in the identity law, existence of inverse element in the inverse law. So keep in mind the definition of a group, and to take this example, prove that a set G is equal to a raised to n such that for every n belongs to Z, form a group under multiplication, where Z is the set of integers. The set containing the elements of the type a raised to n, where a is not equal to 0 maybe, for every n belongs to Z, n belongs to Z is the set of integers, form a group under multiplication. Okay, to take the solution, given G is equal to a raised to n for every n belongs to Z, n is the set of integer means n takes the values 0, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3 and so on. If n equal to 0, the a raised to n becomes a raised to 0. If n is a plus 1, it is a raised to 1. If n is a minus 1, it is a raised to minus 1. Like that, if n is plus 2, minus 2, n is minus 2, a raised to minus 2, n is plus or minus 3, we get the terms like that. On the right and left side of the a raised to 0, one side has the positive powers of a, one side has the negative powers of a. So this is the set G. Now our idea is to prove that G dot is a group. Dot stands for the multiplication. Prove that G with multiplication is a group. First, to recall the closure law. Closure law has been nothing but the binary operation. To take any elements of the set G of the type a raised to n, I will take the type of the a raised to n elements as a raised to m comma a raised to n belongs to G. For every mn are the integers. This implies a raised to m into a raised to n is nothing but the a raised to m plus n. This m plus n is also integer. Therefore, a raised to m plus n is belongs to G. Therefore, closure law satisfies. Next, to consider the proof in the associative law. So associative law need the three elements of the type a raised to n. So the three elements I will take as a raised to m into a raised to m comma a raised to n comma a raised to l belongs to G. Now to write these three elements in form of a multiplication, a raised to m into bracket a raised to n into a raised to l is equal to the change in the bracket of the left side as write a raised to m into a raised to n into l. Both the answers are same. It is bracket simplification a raised to n plus l, and it is a raised to m means a raised to m plus n plus l, and also the simplification of these three is also a raised to m plus n plus l. Immediately, what's our conclusion? Both the LHS and RHS are same. Therefore, associative law satisfies. So the first two laws are of a group are satisfies as closure law and associative law. Next, to go for the identity law. Identity law is nothing but the to check whether the identity element exists or not. According to multiplication, almost all 1 is the identity element. Here a raised to 0, the value of a raised to 0 is 1. 1 is multiplied to any element of G, the element remain same. Therefore, a raised to 0 be the identity element. Existence of identity element, the existence of identity element, we identified that a raised to 0 is equal to 1 be the identity element. Next, existence of inverse element. Inverse element means how many elements in a group G, how many elements in a set G, each element has their inverse. For every a raised to m belongs to G, there exists compulsory a raised to minus m belongs to G, such that multiplication of a raised to m into a raised to n is a raised to m minus m is a raised to 0 is equal to 1. That means the multiplication of these two is equal to the identity element means these elements are inverse to each other. A raised to m, its inverse is a raised to minus m, and vice versa, a raised to minus m is the inverse of a raised to m, and a raised to m is the inverse of a raised to minus m. Like that, every element having the inverse. Therefore, our conclusion that a raised to minus m is the inverse element of A raised to m. Therefore, inverse of every element exists. Hence, the inverse law satisfies. So, we identify that closure law satisfied, associative law satisfies, identity law satisfied, inverse law satisfies. All the conditions of G has been satisfied. Therefore, G with multiplication is a group. Definition of a cyclic group. What you solved in the previous paper, that G equal to A raised to n belongs to Z, it is a group. Keep in mind this one, and to work out the definition of a cyclic group. Definition of a cyclic group. Definition of a cyclic group. A group G is defined in the form G equal to A raised to n. For every A belongs to G and n belongs to Z is called cyclic group. So the previously what you derived the one example on a group, that group defined in that fashion is always called as a cyclic group. Particularly, G is called cyclic group generated by A. All the elements of G are generators of the A. Therefore, it is a cyclic group generated by A, and A is called the generator of G, and it is denoted by G equal to bracket A or G of A. So, G equal to A means G is a group of the type elements A raised to n for every n belongs to Z, such that this group is called cyclic group. So, definition of a cyclic subgroup. What you called as the cyclic subgroup? If H equal to A raised to n for every n belongs to Z and A belongs to G, then H is called a cyclic group subgroup of G generated by A. H is also in the form of A raised to n for every n belongs to Z and A belongs to G, and H is called a cyclic subgroup of G generated by A, and H is also denoted like that. H equal to bracket of A means cyclic group generated by A. G is in other words, G is a group, or in this case G is a group and H is subset of G. G is a group, H is a subset of G, and H is of the form group formed by A, that is generator of the generator of H is A. Therefore, H is a cyclic subgroup of G. So, example for this one. Now, to consider a set G equal to 2 raised to n for every n belongs to Z is a group under multiplication. A set G equal to 2 raised to n for every n belongs to Z is a group under multiplication. That is, G is a group formed by the type of the number 2 raised to n, or in other words you can say it is a cyclic group generated by 2, and it is denoted by G is equal to bracket 2 or cyclic group generated by 2. So, this is the example of a cyclic group. Take the one more example of a cyclic group. A group of 4th roots of unity form a cyclic group under multiplication. Okay, the solution, let G be the fourth root of unity. The 4th roots of unities are 1, minus 1, I and minus I. No doubt that it is a group under multiplication. G equal to 1, minus 1, I and minus I is a group under multiplication. But all these elements 1, minus 1, I and minus I particularly formed by the one element. What is that element? That element is nothing but the I, because we have I to the power 1 is I is there. I to the power 2 is a I square, minus 1 is there. I to the power 3 is a I square into I is a minus I is also there. I to the power 4 is I square to the bracket square, or I to the power 2 whole to the power 2, then it is a plus 1 is also in the G. That means G is generated by I. If the set G is generated by the some single element with the different power and it is a group, then it is called a cyclic group. In this case, G is generated by I, therefore G is a cyclic group generated by I. In particular, 4th root of unity is a cyclic group generated by I. Next, to go for the certain theorems on cyclic groups. Theorems on cyclic group. the first theorem is every cyclic group is abelian. To prove that every cyclic group is abelian, let us start the example. Let G is equal to A is a cyclic group generated by A. That means G is of the form A to the power n for every n is an integer and A belongs to G. It is the clear picture. Now our idea is to show that this cyclic group is abelian. So this cyclic group is abelian means we should show that the commutative law has been satisfied. Suppose x and y are the elements of G. To show that x into y is equal to y into x. X into y equal to y into x means commutative law has been satisfied. G is already group. G satisfies commutative law, then G is immediately abelian. Okay, we can prove this by means of a given thing where it is given that G is a cyclic group generated by A. To consider the two elements x comma y belongs to G. So x is of the form a raised to m for every m belongs to Z. Y is of the form a raised to n for every n belongs to Z. What happens x into y? X into y is nothing but the a raised to m into a raised to n. By the law of indices, you can write this as a to the power m plus n. M plus n may be written as n plus m and then can be split as a raised to n into a raised to m. Rewrite a raised to n is y, a raised to m is x. Immediately what you get? X into y equal to y into x in G. G is a group and it satisfies the commutative law. Therefore, G is abelian group. So it is the proof that every cyclic group is a abelian group. Next, go for the another example. If A is a generator of a cyclic group G, if A is a generator of a cyclic group G, then A inverse is also generator of G. Suppose to consider, let G equal to cyclic group generated by A. Now our idea is to show that of A. Okay, let x belongs to G. This implies x is in the form a raised to n. For every n belongs to n. This x to the equal to a raised to n can be written as A. What do you mean by x equal to a raised to minus 1? G is generated by x equal to minus 1 to the a raised to minus 1 to the power minus n for every x belongs to G, and hence G equal to a raised to minus 1. It shows that a raised to minus 1 is also the generator of G. So the two theorems you did, every cyclic group is an abelian group, and another one is the if A is a generator of G, immediately a raised to minus 1 is also the generator of G. Next, go for the another example theorem. Every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic. Every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic. So this is the theoretical part in mathematics. You have to read the statement of the theorem again and again and split it what it is given, and you have to think what to be proved. It is very necessary. Every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic, where G is a group is given. G is a cyclic group is given. Let G is a cyclic group. That means G is generated by A. In particularly, G equal to a raised to n for every n belongs to Z. It is a cyclic group. Now to take one subgroup of a cyclic group, that particularly I take H. Let H is a subgroup of G. Let H is a subgroup of G. If G is of the form a raised to n, immediately H is also in the form of a raised to n for some n belongs to Z. Where n is the integer, to take integers means there are so many numbers in which we can take another number m. Let m be the smallest positive integer. There are so many integers in which I will take m be the smallest positive integer such that a raised to m belongs to h, I will think. Now to prove that element of h are in the form a raised to m, as m belongs to n, n belongs to z. Okay, by division algorithms, m and n are the two numbers. There exist another two integers q and r, such that suppose n is divided by m, there will be the quotient q. M into q has been multiplied and written below the n. The subtraction of n minus mq is the remainder r. Then the n equal to mq plus r. If there are the two numbers m and n, there exist the two numbers q and r such that n can be written as mq plus r, where r is the remainder. If this remainder is always less than this division m, and it may be equal to 0 or greater than 0. The remainder is always positive or it may be 0, and it is should be less than m. Therefore n can be written m cube plus r. It is by means of a division algorithm. What it happens, a raised to n now, a raised to n is a raised to m cube plus r. That means you can split the a raised to n is equal to a raised to m cube plus r, a raised to m cube into a raised to r. Now this a raised to r is taken a raised to m cube on this side, it becomes a raised to minus m cube into a raised to n, or a raised to r equal to a raised to m raised to minus q into a raised to n. However, it is possible that both RHS or LHS are equal. If the LHS is a raised to r, the RHS is this much, means it should be noted that a raised to m belongs to h and a raised to n belongs to h. These both are belongs to h. Therefore, this total RHS belongs to h. If the total RHS belongs to h, immediately the LHS a raised to r belongs to h. As r is less than m, we said that m is the least positive number, but here it is r is also positive number. It is least than the r, but it is contradict, because we said already that m be the smallest positive integer. No number is less than m. According to the process of division of algorithm and our mathematics, what it gives, one more number is there is a r that is less than m. It is wrong. It should be noted that r is less than m is wrong. And m therefore r should be 0. R should be 0. Now n equal to mq. Now r is 0 means this particular r is 0 means a raised to n equal to a raised to mq, or n equal to m into q. That means a raised to n equal to a raised to m raised to q. Look at this one. Another form of the numbers we have been formed in the a raised to n. Those are of the type a raised to m to the power q. You can say this is b. This b should be belongs to h. Is any arbitrary element b belongs to h, can be expressed in the form of a raised to m. This b can be written in the form of a raised to m to the power q. Therefore, h can be expressed in the form of a raised to m to the power someone q. Therefore, h is a cyclic group. H is a cyclic group formed by a raised to m. That means we can a raised to m raised to q. Therefore, h is a cyclic group. Its generator is a raised to m. Therefore, h is a cyclic group. Its generator is a raised to m. But before that, h is a subgroup of a cyclic group. H is a subgroup of a cyclic group. Now h has the particular elements of the type a raised to m raised to q. That means a raised to m is the generator of h. Therefore, h is a cyclic group. Hence, it is very clear that every subgroup of a cyclic group is a cyclic group. Next, to go for the another theorem. Let G be a cyclic group of order n. Let G be a cyclic group of order n generated by a. Then a raised to n equal to e. And G contains n distinct elements e, a square, a cube, a raised to n minus 1, where e is the identity element of G. Once again, to read the theorem, let G be a cyclic group of order n. G be a cyclic group of order n. Those n elements has been given, starting from e, first element, a, second element, a square, third element, a cube, fourth element, immediately a raised to n minus 1, n elements are given. Now our idea is to prove that a raised to n is e. Our idea is to show that a raised to n is e and G is a cyclic group generated by a. Suppose instead of proving a raised to n equal to e, I will take, suppose a raised to m equal to e for some m is less than n. N may be the big number, m I taken is the smallest number. A raised to m equal to e for some m is less than n. M is less than means there are the n elements in which m is less than n. Now to take another element k such that the modulus of k is greater than m. By division algorithm, there are two numbers k and m. By division process, we get k equal to mq plus r, where r is greater than or equal to 0 and less than m. Now what happens? A raised to k equal to a raised to m raised to q into a raised to r. But a raised to m is taken that e, therefore it is e raised to q is 1 into a raised to r. A raised to k equal to a raised to r. It shows that a raised to k is the one of the element in this set e, a square, a raised to m minus 1. Therefore, G contains almost m elements. but m is less than n, and order of group is n. Order of group is n. Therefore, a raised to m should not be equal to e for any m is less than n. Hence, it is that a raised to n equal to e, where e belongs to G, and G contains precisely n elements, say e, a square, a raised to n minus 1. All these n elements are distinct to each other. Now, to go for the order of an element, a belongs to G. What do you mean by order of an element? A belongs to G. In a group G, order of an element a belongs to G is the smallest positive integer n such that a raised to n equal to e. What do you mean by order of an element a belongs to G? That G is generated by a and a raised to n equal to e. It can be written as order of group equal to n. Wherever it comes order of n equal to order of G equal to n, you should write the a raised to n is e. If there is no n, then the order of a is infinite. If the order of G is an n, then a raised to n equal to e. If there is no order of there is no n, that means there is no finite, then order of a is infinite. With the help of this order of an element a belongs to G, to prove the one theorem, if G is a cyclic group of order n generated by an element a, then for arbitrary integer I and j, a raised to I equal to a raised to j double implies, or if and only if I minus j is a multiple of n. So it is in common given that G is generated by a, and they said that order of a is n. The order of a is n. The definition says that a raised to n equal to e. Suppose to consider a raised to I equal to a raised to j, to prove that I minus j is a multiple of n. A raised to I equal to a raised to j, where I is greater than j. I is greater than j means I minus j is greater than 0. I minus j is divided by n. I minus j is divided by n. According to division process, I minus j becomes nq plus r. I minus j equal to nq plus r means taken a base a on both the side, we get a raised to nq plus r equal to a raised to I minus j. A raised to I minus j. But I minus j is a, suppose I minus j is a, I and j are equal, immediately I minus j is 0. A raised to 0 is e. That means a raised to n raised to q into a raised to r is e, means a raised to r is e. But a raised to r is not should be e, because a raised to n is e. According to given, a raised to n is e. A raised to r is not equal to e. It shows that r should be 0. It shows that r should be 0 in this expression. That means I minus j equal to nq plus 0. That means I minus j is the multiple of n. Therefore, I minus j is the multiple of n. Only if part, given that I minus j is a multiple of n, to prove that a raised to I equal to a raised to g. Here it is I minus j equal to k into n, I equal to j plus kn, rising a on both the side. We have the a raised to I equal to a raised to j into a raised to n to the power k. That is a raised to j into a raised to n is a e. This is e raised to k is e is 1. That means a raised to I equal to a raised to j. So this is the proof of the one more theorem. Students, you can try this theorem. If G is a cyclic group of order n generated by a, then a raised to m is a generator of a. If and only if m and n are relatively prime numbers. With this, conclude the definition of a cyclic group and some examples. If possible, you have to be try one more theorem. If G equal to almost all the generator of A terms given be an infinite cyclic group generated by A, then to prove that distinct powers of A are distinct, and G has exactly two generators A and A minus 1. Some party has already did. So work out these things in the cyclic group. Class ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಹೆಂಗಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾವಪ್ಪ ಇವು.
Third semester.